Hi Leo, this is your general tarot reading for Leo, Sun, Moon and Ascendant or Rising sign for the month of September. So Leo, let's do as we always do. We'll shuffle the cards and wait on all the right ones to come out for you. And in the meantime, let's talk about these energies that you might feel through the month. So, we got to talk, oh, here's your first card that hopped out. I was just going to say we've got to talk about the big full moon that happened as we left August, and entered into September. A Piscean full moon happening for you in your 8th house. So for some of you, as the cards suggest here, the first two, there may have been a real moment of crisis. A real moment where something very big happened in your life that made you feel like something has totally transformed in your life, perhaps forever. So you may have been dealing with some very big issues, possibly issues that were brought to your door by other people, things that you had to maybe help other people with, fix other people with, some sort of crisis moment. The 8th house is all to do with transformations that basically very often come from great traumas or crises. The 8th house is to do with very deep and taboo subjects also. Births, deaths, taxes, things like that. Or shared resources. Looking at what you have, looking what another person has, and seeing, does there need to be a separation there between what's yours and what's theirs? Or trying, for some of you, to really bring together and shape up something that brings you a resource from somewhere else. So it was maybe a time where you had to look at some of these bigger, deeper issues. And it could have gotten quite heavy and stressful. On a more positive note, it could have been wonderful. Because it's the house of birth, there could have been a birth of a child. And if that's you, Leo, congratulations. Maybe that's why there was great moments of tears and so on like that during the full moon. So it can come in many different shapes and forms. But it does have a lot to do also, and I'm feeling this, really feeling this for you, Leo. It's to do with power and the dynamics of power. And I guess for a lot of you, that there were moments where you felt that you were powerless against somebody else, against another figure in your family, against another figure in your work sphere or in your group of friends. That somehow you felt that they were trying to pull rank on you or to be dominant over you. And in some cases, it's probably not even that. It's more of a question of where you get very frustrated and emotional and stressed out by watching somebody with a lot of power really wielding it in a very bad way, in a negative way. So it could be a bully in your sphere somehow, in your family or work life somehow. And it had to be challenged. It seems the influence of the moon as we leave August and go into a little bit of, and here comes the card of the authoritarian, the boss, somebody who has all the power. So I think as we go in a little bit also to September, there is this issue of unfairness in power. There's a power play here or some dynamic where you're either very, very personally involved in it or you see it and it stresses you out or it makes you mad. And you know, sometimes it's a question that just might be sitting there for you even, where you say, look at all these people. These are people that are supposed to know better. They've all the power. They should be behaving better. Why is it that always that these bad guys always seem to kind of hold these positions of power, or why do they always triumph in the end? You know, here I am, Leo, being good, being decent, playing by the rules, being fair, being generous, being open-hearted. And yet here are these people, they've none of the qualities that I have, none of the generosity, they don't put half of the care, love and attention into what they're doing, and yet there they are, standing up as the boss. And it's frustrating you somehow. So if you do get that moment, or have had already felt that moment, Leo, where there's a case of what's the point in doing the right thing? What's the point in being this beautiful, shiny Leo where I want to do good, when it seems that the people that do bad just jump ahead? But don't lose heart, baby. Don't lose heart. These are tests that come not to break you down, but to show you how maybe good you are, to stick to your principles, stick to your good ethics, stick to your morals. It shows a divide between you and them. You're not like them. And you should be glad about that. You should be happy about that. I don't know why, but I'm feeling this. It could be, yes, I said career, very true, but maybe it's a family member. I'm feeling that, where they're pulling a power trip on you. And there's a moment where you ask all the questions I just said, but relax, relax. Sure, they might get this and they might get that and they might be the boss and they might have all the power, but they don't have all the power. They really don't. Because with the 8th house, it's all about digging deep. And I suspect with a lot of these people that you might associate what I'm saying with, just scratch the surface and you'll find that they're very out of power. That the power they exert on the outside is usually a way to prop themselves up for the power they lack on the inside. And when it comes to having power on the inside, baby, you have that. You've an excess of that. You really burn bright as the sun. So really, don't fret or worry when you see this dynamic. But if it is a case where you can stand up for yourself, if somebody is trying to pull rank unfairly on you, to bully you in some way, then by all means, show them what real power looks like. Real internal power. That's what you have. You can show them and you can return and go back to your life again. As 2 cards come out there, yeah. The sword-wielding knight, to show them what you think. Card of the mind, card of words, speaking out. The card of sudden changes, sudden transformations, possibly even catastrophes. Did we get that? We did. We got that last month. So some of you are still dealing with some of the issues that we spoke about last month, Leo. But the good news is that that's passing. And what you're looking forward to now is your beautiful soul, the sun, your ruler, in the 2nd house of recognizing your self-value, your self-worth, and acknowledging and infusing more energy into your self-esteem. And that is where you're at big time this month. Really, it's building you up. So what if they're trying to wield power over you? So what if they're trying to do X, Y, and Z? So what if they're shitty managers or shitty people? Inside what you have is something that they don't have, which is, as I said, a huge, huge, huge inner resource of power, self-esteem, courage, self-belief, and commitment to living a good, decent, honest, and heartfelt life, which is what you are best at, baby. Really, really. And you do know, in the end, the sun always shines through. It does, you know, it does. So don't worry. Sorry about that, Leo. My camera is really acting very crazy. It's crazy energy at the moment, so it just cut out there. Sorry about that. The other thing I was saying was, if you have had some issues surrounding money, maybe your partner's money for those in a relationship, maybe if that was not going so well, your mind now and your energy now is focused on making money. You begin the month with Mercury in the 1st house. So there has been some great transformation within you where your mind is now moving towards making money, because Mercury on 6th of September moves into getting more organized, more direct, more clear about bringing in more money, and also about doing it in a very way, say Leo, that builds your self-esteem and self-worth. If you keep your mind on that this month, rather than what all those other shitty, power-hungry people are doing, then that's where you win. That's where you need to put your energy, because the 2nd house can also indicate where we are losing energy. So you're putting aside the power games of other people to focus completely on you. Ignore what they're doing. Ignore what's happening around you. This is your game, baby. This is where you get to bring in the cash, where you get to focus on having your own coins and having your own sense of self-worth building with that lovely energy. Now, Mercury then on September 22nd goes into your third house. So it's almost like this great progression where your mind suddenly transforms, probably through some event or whatever. And then you move through the month saying, I am getting my mojo back. I am getting my mind back on the money and nothing's distracting me. I am making it happen. It'll be me making it happen. And then once you really focus on that, in comes Mercury around the 22nd, who is pam, 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 feeding you with new ideas. You'll be with your pen and paper doing out new ideas, drawing up plans, schemes, designs, whatever it is you're doing. It's your mind energy will be so creative with these fabulous new ideas, and new ideas that you are shaping up in order to share with other people. Yeah, so it's just that wonderful creative mind energy where you get all these wonderful ideas just pouring into you this month, my love. So, other nice things that are happening this month. At the start of the month, September 6th, Saturn is going direct. At the end of the month, September 30th, Pluto going direct. Both going direct in your 6th house, which is nice. Good month for it to be happening too for you. The 6th house, a very Virgo style house, all about focus, analysing, discernment. You see, this is the big key here. Discernment is about judging what's important in your life now and only putting your time, energy and focus on that, and deeming the other distractions as being a waste of time. Therefore, if your resource is energy and passion and creativity, then consider it a wasted resource. You're running your own business. You are the Leo Empire. As the emperor or empress of that empire, would you just throw your resources, your gold, your most precious things into something that's useless? No. And the same applies to you this month. Have a moment where you get a very clear, critical eye, somewhat, in what is important now to give your energy to and what doesn't matter at all anymore, and let that go. And there will be a great moment here too, Leo, I'm saying this to everybody this month, of you standing at some point through the month and giving yourself a little bit of a clap on the back to see just how far you've come. You've come very far in terms of your health, taking care of yourself, taking care of your body. Maybe last year you weren't so focused on fitness, or you weren't so focused on having a clean diet or so on like that, but now you're getting there, so well done. The energy here too is of your work life, your work ethic, how you approach your life. Maybe a while ago you were kind of a bit like a feather in the wind, a bit of work here, maybe a bit of work there, but now you're more focused, you're more organized. And I mean, in all areas of your life, you could look around your house and not realize, look, here's a Leo card, Leo. You may not realize that you're far more organized even in your home than you were before. Everything has a place now. Clothes are hung up, where, I'm not saying you're messy, but you know, things have a proper place and everything is streamlined and dynamic and it suits you better. So there is that wonderful moment of feeling super organized and allowing yourself that little clap on the back, as I said, because this has happened. We're waiting on one more card here, Leo. 9th of September, there's a new moon in the 2nd house. So if you have any ideas concerning money, if you're looking for a pay rise, if you're looking to promote a project, if you're looking to do something to do with expanding your money from the 9th onwards, it's a great opportunity for you to do that. In terms of your self-esteem, somewhere from, say, the 9th of September, you might begin to really feel that gorgeous Leo glow come back, where you do finally get how powerful you are, you do finally realize that you're more confident than ever before, which makes me very, very happy to hear, because I like that. Venus on September the 9th goes into Scorpio, into your home life, into your family life. So for some of you, you could get great pleasure with your family, spending time at home, spending time in privacy, spending time just shutting the door and doing comfortable things that give you pleasure. And you might be finding that you're very emotional. For those in a relationship, there could be real tender romantic moments here for you. But this brings a sense of depth. It's the small, silly, romantic things that you do together that deepens your relationship and gets you talking on a much heavier and intimate level. And the romance could bring lots of nice other things too. I mean, sex is part of the energy here, intimacy, things like that. I'm talking about deep subjects once and for all, because you know what it's like sometimes in a relationship, that you're working, that you're doing, you're busy, and you don't very often have the time to stay at home and really talk to each other, really on a very deep level. So it's a wonderful time around September 9th to feed that energy and to nourish each other for those in a relationship. Those looking for love, you could find somebody who's very in tune with you on an emotional level, somebody who is ready to ask you questions that are deep, that they might see some of the things you're going through in your life and they'll ask, well, how are you doing? How are you? And they'll ask it in such a way that you'll open up and these emotions will all come out. So it will be somebody that you'll be very, very attracted to this month, that is softer, that does want to go deeper with you emotionally. Very nice energy. Here's your last card. This card, it always shows up. Why does it always show up? Now, and it fell, I put it on the table and then it fell through a crack on the table and went on the floor. Yeah, okay, let me get that card here. So this is it. We're still dealing with this issue. Other things to mention before we move down. September 11th, Mars in Aquarius in your house of partnerships and relationships. You are really pushing ahead now with new relationships, with existing relationships. There's just more energy in it. You'll be getting each other more passion, more enthusiasm for each other. There's energy here too in terms of business. If you're doing business one-on-one with somebody, this could be a very high time where it's go, you know. Seventh house can sometimes represent people, let's say contracts, maybe getting signed around September the 11th. Contracts may be broken at this time too, for those of you severing ties in some way around September 11th. And legal issues. If you're dealing with a legal issue, let's say there's a lot of energy with Mercury in the second house and so on there, and then Venus in the third, I would suggest that you try to play as fair as possible. And this could be one of the reasons for some of you that there's this dynamic where somebody might be making a power play on you. Be as give and take as you can be without losing. Do you know what I mean? Don't go in and be like them. Say, well, if you demand that, then I demand that, and that. You know, keep it smooth, baby. You don't want arguments here. Keep it smooth, and it might work out better once you kind of compromise a little bit. But compromise, remember, there's a difference between giving in and compromise. Still get what you want out of this contract or this severance of a contract. Still get what you want without any of the drama, you know. Other things. Then the Sun, your ruler on September 23rd, goes into Libra, into your third house, joining Mercury there. At the end of the month, it's all about this great communication. Your mind will be just lit up with fabulous new ideas, new ways to speak to people, new ways to communicate. If you're working in an arena where you must meet and greet people, you must speak to them, telephone calls and so on, it's going to amp up a little bit, but this is the right time for that to happen, because you'll get great feedback. It'll be just such a period of growth for you towards the end of the month. September 25th, all working towards the big Aries full moon in your 9th house. So this could be a moment towards the end of the month where some of you really might need to take a vacation. Maybe go on a long journey far away, and maybe on your own, to do something very adventurous on your own. 9th house is also the house of the gods, where we sometimes go there to ask for help for some of our problems. So you could feel towards the end of the month that you're maybe feeling a bit more spiritual, or at least for those of you who are not very aligned to a spirituality, to just look to the universe and say, any answers please? Can you clue me in? Can you give me a bit of help here? And at the end of the month, it seems you get some wonderful insights and wonderful, wise answers. Some of you at the end of the month, I mean, this is September, a lot of you could be going back to school, college, university, or into some other class or course that teaches you something that opens your mind. So that's a lovely thing. It's just at the end of the month, there's a moment where maybe even foreign people, foreign cultures, foreign ideas, foreign wisdom is something that personally opens you up in some way, that you want to run with this. And like I said, possibly go alone in some way. So it could be very personal to you. Other things before I move down, Mercury, the first week, you might get some, the more confidence you have, it seems that the more rewards come within your career. Or if you're dealing with a male figure, an authority figure, or the boss, say, for example, go in the first week if it's money that you're looking for, a pay rise or something like that. Go in because you're more self-assured and more confident, and they'll pick up on that and they'll view that as something kind of worth paying attention to. But at the same time, don't just accept their first answer. If they say, yes, I think a pay rise is good, let me think about that. Don't let it get all forgotten. Don't let it get lost. You have to remind them, it seems. 12th is also good, 12th of September, where something wonderful is happening within your home. 4th, 6th, some of you could really get this real spark to expand something that you're doing creatively within your home. Something moving, something transforming, maybe working from home. And that seems to be very positive around the 12th. There's so many other things. Let's do what we're really here for, which is to read tarot. So we've gone through some of the things, and now let's look actually at the big overview, Leo, and let's talk about these cards. So look at this beauty that we open up with here. The 3 of Swords beside the 3 of Cups, communication cards. The first one being hard and severe communication, and the second one being heartfelt communication. So how does this translate, Leo? So for some of you, there really could have been that moment where you had to say goodbye to somebody for one reason or another, and it broke your heart a little bit. It broke your heart, and what you may have found is a great need to open up and to communicate on a very deep and heartfelt manner with people who love and care about you. So yes, for some of you, there has been a significant event happening in your life where somebody has left your life. And the communication is so very important here, okay? To keep that open and to keep talking so that you can get over this. Now, again, just to flip this over, on another level, this could also mean that there is somebody betraying you. It could go back to the moment I spoke about earlier where somebody is abusing their power or abusing their position. Maybe it's something that you have on instinct, something going on in your gut that you can't quite challenge this person again. Maybe you've kind of challenged them and you can't go back again to challenge something. Your hands are tied in some way with somebody who is trying to assert power over you or trying to do something I would say, shady on you. These two cards sitting here beside each other can often mean that there is a disloyal person in the ranks. Yeah. And again, just to go further with this, it could mean a third-party situation, which I don't usually like to say because, I mean, going from month to month, it would be insanity every time a card came up like this to say there's a third-party situation. I mean, who lives that kind of life where every day there's a third-party situation? But because they're both here and because they are the opening cards, I think some of you are dealing with an unwanted person interfering with your life and bringing you great heartache. So this is possibly why you need to assert your confidence, very much so here, why you've got the Sun and Mercury really backing you up this month, saying don't let this shit get you down. Talk, keep speaking your truth, keep holding the dignity that you have, keep being a good person. And again, remember what I said, don't start believing that the bad people always triumph in the end, that the baddies are always the ones who, you know, become the heroes at the end. It's what really is the heroic thing to do this month in a situation like this, Leo, is to regroup, go back and just say, I'm just going to wash this clean because they might have taken this from me, this might have left my life, this might have gone from my life. Take. Okay, let it go, but you're not going to take this. You're not going to take my Leo shine. You're not going to take my heart because they can't be taken because they're not mine to give away. They belong to my spirit. They're not things that are so easily handed over and taken because at any point, the moment you remember that they belong to you, to your spirit, and they're not things that can ever really be given away. Certainly they can be shared, and it hurts when somebody abuses that sharing generosity of your heart, but they can't ever take it. That's yours, baby. That belongs to you and to you alone. So remember that. Excuse me. Now here we have the card of the Emperor, the Aries card. And here we have somebody, the real challenger, the knight going on a mission to challenge the authority figure. Literal case, it might be that you may have had a little bit of a moment with an Aries or a Scorpio where there have been, you know, and it seems as we go through the month that still needs to be resolved a little bit. Also, this can mean that you, in your power, in your authority, what we're saying here is that somebody's, again, charging at you, trying to bring you down. Leo, this is not the first month I've felt this for you. Is it subtle or is it big? I mean, what level are we at here, Leo? Because this seems to be a recurring theme where somebody is always trying to steal your shine. It could be very subtle, but you feel it, you know it. And it's this, every time you try to assert yourself and stand up and build your empire and build something up, there are subtle jabs. You know, this could be the energy of, you know, death by 1,000 cuts, or it could be like him going in with one big dramatic cut. But nonetheless, you feel it. And I'd like to know what that is, Leo, because this is probably the third month now in a row where I have felt this energy for you. Where you're it's like this thing that you can't shake, that somebody is always needling you, that they're always trying to drag you down and pull you down. And, you know, we can understand why, Leo, because we speak about this often, is because they don't have what you have. There's a jealousy there, there's a fear there, and they need to keep you down in case you rise way, way, way up above them. So that's what this is all about. It's all about that. Very often when people constantly charge at us, constantly try to bring us down, it's not because of anything you've done wrong. It's pretty much always because they fear you, because they have envy of you, and because if you really rise, then you show their inadequacies to them. And a lot of people don't like that. A lot of people like keeping other people down. And it's interesting because this has been quite difficult for you over the last while, Leo. And I see how hard you're working to pick yourself up. But like I said, I just hear this, not everybody likes to see you rise again. They prefer to see you down. Well, I tell you, that is certainly not energy that you need. Not energy that you need. And remember what I said a few moments ago about having discernment, weighing something up and seeing what to give your energy to and what not to give your energy to. So in your empire, see, we were talking about empires even before the emperor came out. In your empire, now as a master ruler, you have to be smart, you have to be intelligent, which you are. But you have to know as an emperor where to move, where to go, what lands to conquer, where to put your money. You don't get to become an emperor because you're all over the place with your mind and giving your focus to all the wrong things. You get to be an emperor because you're highly focused, because you're tuned in, and because if there's anybody that tries to bring an emperor down, he will send his best horsemen out to first negotiate with them. Let's think like a military Martian here, which is what he is. First to negotiate, and then if negotiations completely break down, then he sorts them out. He certainly reminds them who's boss, and he only gives his focus to his own empire, which is the energy for you this month. Now, here we have catastrophe again. We got this last month, I remember, Leo, I think. Yes, we did. Something has changed, and we feel it again mid-month. Something is coming down. The old structures, the old way of doing things, the old way of living your life is being completely brought down. Now, this could be brought down by a fire sign, which is another Leo, an Aries or a Sagittarius. So we have to address that. But really how I see this, Leo, is that the things in your life that aren't built on steady ground, things that weren't rock solid, things that were in your way, in the way of your own progress, now have to come down in order for you to get back being the fire royal. This is fire. This is the Queen of Wands, the Queen of Magic, the Psychic Queen. This is you being back in your element once you let all the old shit disappear. Once you stop battling all the wrong battles. Once you stop focusing on all the people who are trying to bring you down. Once you get back, like the Emperor, only focusing on your own empire, then you get your throne back. You see, and as always, there's the psychic cat looking out into the future, always guarding, always watching, and the sunflower, your beautiful symbol, the sunflower, like you, my love, whose head always turns to follow the direction of the sun, and the sun at the start of the month is in the house of self-worth, self-esteem, confidence, reclaiming the lost power that you've been putting into useless situations and useless people, and bringing your mind back on the money and generating new life, generating new air in your world, or new fire, igniting, should I say, your ability to make money and to move on. Move on. There's the word that got stuck when I said it. The element here of, come on now, Leo, move on. Move on and let it go. Whatever that is, whatever that is. Because you're back in your full power once you do, once you let it go. And it could be just a bunch of stuff that has been going round and round in your mind, fears, worries, doubts. They gotta go now, baby. Because when this happens, here we have the magician, Mercury, who's really on the move this month. He starts in your first house, then goes into the second, and before the month ends, he's already in your third house. So he's moving at quick speed this month. And he's there to say, look, move on and ignore the people who are draining you, because when you do, I can open a door for you and bring you to a much happier place. And for a lot of you, that happy place is with better people. This card is a soulmate card. So for some of you, this could be the energy of Mercury showing you a new love. Somebody that really understands you, somebody that really is on your wavelength, somebody that is real. All this month there's the energy of wholesomeness, kindness, generosity. This is where he's trying to bring you. Maybe you have found yourself being in relationships or being around people who don't have those lovely, wholesome qualities that you like. And it's affecting you. And when you do the work that we've been saying about move on, let it go, sharpen your mind, focus on the money, focus on what needs to happen, then Mercury steps in and brings you those new unions with a better quality of person. And I know sometimes we say a better quality of person. All people have qualities. Sure they do. All people have good qualities, and all people are always trying to work out the qualities maybe that they don't understand, But for you, I think it seems to be time, Leo, to be in a group, with a group of people that are more wholesome. Now, the second house is also to do with the voice. And here we have Mercury, and he is the will. He's the one, say the throat area, where I will do something. So he's putting a lot of energy into you speaking your truth, speaking from a great sense of wholesomeness, what's absolutely right and generous and kind. So you're being pushed and fired this month to maybe stand up for yourself, stand up for the underdog, stand up and be heard, to hear your voice. Some of you have to do public speaking, perhaps. Some of you are actors, singers, or somewhere where your voice, politics, even community politics, where your voice has to carry. And what your voice is carrying is the element of love, the element of bringing people together, the element of expressing something more pure. Now, if that all sounded a bit like the Waltons, a little house on the prairie, but that's the kind of energy where you want that goodness in your life. Now it's been brought to you. So watch out for it when it comes and encourage it when it comes. Bring it in. When that door is open, bring it in, allow it home. Allow it to sit in that nice, comfortable part of your soul, because it will feed you and nourish you. Now here we have the card of, say, wise Solomon, somebody who is very just, somebody who is somebody who only sees the good path and who defends that. And he's defending that against somebody who doesn't necessarily know how to use the truth properly. Maybe a person who is wielding lies, gossip, somebody who their communication is all over the place. And maybe it might not be very, very dramatic, but there's a kind of an essence here of you being very clear towards the end of the month, where you're separating yourself from these people who like to gossip, like to he said, she said, where they'll say one thing to you on the telephone, put the phone down, dial up somebody else, say, you never guess what Leo said. And then you end up hearing it back. And so at the end of the month, there is that wonderful quality where you get to hold a sense of integrity. Integrity is key this month, which you have by bucket loads. Leo, pride, integrity, holding your own. You know, putting your chest out and saying, I am Leo, I am proud. And what are you proud of? Your integrity. So don't let anything knock you this month. Don't let little he said, she said, or gossips, or people who are telling cloudy versions of the truth. Don't let them get to you, because truth must be on your side. And again, I'll go back to this. If there are legal issues, stick to the truth, baby. Stick to the truth. If it's something to do with a contract, or something to do with, for some of you, it could be to do with inheritance, 8th house there. For some of you, it could be to do with separation and who owns what. This is mine, that's yours, etc. Stay in your truth, because it will seem that you have to be the one to stay in your truth because other people aren't. And again, it goes into the theme from the start of you getting annoyed because other people aren't playing fair, yet they seem to win all the time. Stay true. Don't play that dirty game, because you don't know what's coming down the line. And it's much better for you to play nicely now, so that you don't regret it later, okay? Now the last card, strength. Leo, the lion, coming back, bringing your strength up, rising up with all your beautiful confidence and with a sense of maturity. Whatever has happened to you recently, Leo, you now feel that you've grown, you've transformed, you're wiser, you're more mature, and you're now ready, willing and able to face something head on, face your fears head on, tackle them and show that you're stronger, show that you're wiser, show that you're more mature, show that you're the bigger person, show that they don't have dominance over you, show that you are just not bothered by whatever they throw at you, and not in a kind of fake it till you make it way, but in a real way. In a real way, by the end of the month, you will feel, I am done with that. I have slayed the demon. I have conquered my fears. And one of your fears could have been surrounding money. The card that often comes out for you, Leo. You're getting closer, so it seems, to getting over this fear of always being left on the outside. You know, we always talk about this, being on the outside, not having the money and looking at everybody who does have it all. And maybe they're the people that you're saying, why do they have it all? They're not good people. So you get stronger and more mature about this situation, which leads me to believe that we might be moving past this energy of you feeling left out, you feeling undervalued, underpaid, not being in the winner's circle, not being in the elite boardroom, not being up there, wherever there is, not getting all the good stuff. But somehow you seem to conquer this and master it towards the end of the month, and you have the strength to do it, my love. So Leo, that was very nice actually. I like that. I like that the Leo card appeared at the end, giving you all that wonderful Leo energy back into you. So take it all in, baby. Feed off that beautiful energy of self-empowerment this month, because it's all there for you. It's all there for you. And best of luck with money projects that you're doing this month too, because it seems that that's going to be a good thing. And yet again, I get cut off as I'm saying goodbye, so I'll make it short and sweet. If this is the first time seeing my videos, then please subscribe. You can join me on Twitter, Facebook and Instagram, She Bear Tarot. And as always, Leo, I will leave you with a big, big, big kiss. Mwah. And all my love. Until next month, bye.